All right, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm finally doing a project that I've been wanting to do for a little while now. I am building a squat rack bench press. It's gonna be about 7 feet tall. It's gonna have a pull-up bar. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this stuff together so that I have two separate pieces that fold into the wall. So this is 11 gauge 2.5 by 2.5, and I ordered two 24-foot pieces. The bed of the truck is only 6 feet. So this is what it looks like before I cut it up. And then after I cut it up, this is what it looks like in the truck. So right now what we're gonna knock out is the 4 2-foot sections, and then we'll go from there. Okay, that's decently square. Okay, so we're gonna start 32 inches from the floor to the first hole for the J-hook. And then from there, we're gonna go every 4 inches up to around 6 feet. And later, if we wanna change it, I can always drill more holes. Pretty square. Okay, so we got most of the pieces cut. I ordered a rust remover, which should be here later today, to clean all of these pieces up, because this was scrap metal, whereas the 2.5 by 2.5 and the 3 by 3 is not scrap metal. Everything else is not scrap metal. The next thing I need to do is I'm gonna cut out one side 3 inches deep for each side of the weight rack to fold in. So that's what we're gonna do now. Toasty. We got all of those brackets cut for the wall. Now we need 6 5-inch sections of this 1/2-inch bar stock and 6 3 by 3 squares that will turn into circles to weld to the top of these to make pins for the weight racks to pivot on. There's 6 of those. Now we gotta cut the squares. So we got all the brackets made, all the stuff to make the pins. The next thing I'm gonna do is cut some of this for the back plates to screw to the wall. And these are gonna be 21.5 inches, and we need 4 of them. We're gonna take these, and we're gonna drill a hole here and here. That way this, when we put it in there, will sit like that. And all we have to do to fold in the weight rack is lift it up, turn it over, drop it down. Okay, so today is the 3rd day of work. The first 2 days, I didn't have a ton of time either. Today I have even less. Basically, what I'm gonna try to do today is clean up all of the edges on these brackets that I cut last. I'm gonna try to round these off and cut those as well. So I'm gonna get to it. Now we're gonna use the flat disc to clean up these and these as much as we can. All right, so finishing up for the day. Basically, I made all of these. They're not perfect circles, but good enough. cleaned all of these up. These are what's gonna be the pins. Tomorrow what I'm gonna do is make the brackets for the pull-up bar and then the brackets for the J-hooks. So I'll be back tomorrow. All right, today's day 4. I'm gonna do as much as I can today. I just got off work. So each day I've only had really a couple hours to work on this. Either the first or second day I had the most, so that's when I got the most done. But the rest of them have just been a few hours, kind of like today, so. Probably a better way, but I do not care. Now, I just realized that I should have drilled the holes for these. Okay, there's those two. So for this, I'm gonna cut this whole side off, 2.5 inches here out, 2.5 inches here out, all the way around, except for this side. So we got these finished. These will go on either side, and then I'll weld something there to make this the J-hook. We're finishing today. We have the brackets made, the 2 J-hooks, and these are the 2 brackets for the pull-up bar to be welded to, which will hold each side of the weight rack from swinging open. I don't have a drawing for these. Honestly, we'll see if this is good enough. I think it should be plenty to hold the weight. So tomorrow I'll be back to get those plates done. And then the next day I should have off and I should have the whole day to start welding. All right, so another day after work. My goal is to cut 8 2.5-inch pieces. I changed my mind about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna weld a bracket to each side of the 4 horizontal pieces to connect the 4 vertical posts. And I'm gonna bolt them together with 3/8 bolts. All right, so let's start cutting. It took a bit longer to cut the extra inch off of these pieces than I expected yesterday. Today the goal is to get these holes drilled on each of these pieces. So I have 4 of these pieces with 4 holes on each of them. So that's 16 holes for these. For these pieces, these each have 2 holes. So that's another 16 holes. And then I'll also have to drill the 16 holes in the uprights for these to go through as well. Forgot about that. So lots of drilling. Let's get to it. So yesterday I made all of these pieces and I was just gonna make them rectangles and round the edges. I was like, oh, maybe it would be cool to just cut off the corners a little bit deeper. And then when I did, I cut some of them so much different than the others that it just came out looking goofy. But you know, you live and you learn. What I'm gonna do is figure out where each of these is going to go on the uprights and then drill those 16 holes. So I'm taking the measurement for these brackets so that I could get the distance for these holes. I burned 1 inch on the scale when I took the measurement, but I forgot that. The first 4 holes that I drilled were an inch too far apart. So what I did is I just remeasured, re-drilled them all. Now I drilled all the holes on one side, and on the 2 that I messed up, I already drilled all the way through. I'll weld over the incorrect holes that I drilled, and then I'll drill all of the holes out. So I welded over the mistake holes and cleaned those up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drill all of these holes out to 1/2 inch. And then after that, all we have to do is weld the pieces together that need to be welded, and then paint, and then put it together, and we'll be good to go. We're almost to the welding. Boom. And that's how you weld.
Nice.
Isn't that sick?
Yeah. Good job. It looks good.
Yeah, that one actually. Okay, so we got most of the way done, I think. You know, everything's not perfect. So some of the welds turned out decent and some of them are pretty bad, but overall they're gonna hold. It's not the best. I was hoping that I would have this done this weekend, but we'll see how much I get done tomorrow. But I'm excited to finish this and we're getting closer. So today was a good day of work. Most of the hardest parts are done. The rest is the fun stuff. So we'll be back tomorrow and hopefully get a good amount done. All right, so the goal for today is to weld these brackets onto the wall plates. Then I'm probably gonna weld the pins together and put the pins in the J-hooks. So far, that's the plan for today. These are the spacers I made, and these are going to go inside of these. I'm gonna weld those in real quick, then I'm gonna be done for the day. All right, so didn't have too much time today, but I got done everything that I was planning to get done. The second thing that I've ever welded, so I'm learning a ton, but some of the welds look terrible. Some of them are all right. It looks like they're all gonna be pretty good. I'm really excited to get this finished. I've changed some things throughout the process and everything is coming together pretty well. All right, y'all, it's another day after work. What my plan is today is to finish these J-hooks. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this piece right here, I'm gonna cut it in half here and here, and then I'm gonna cut it in half this way. Like I'm gonna weld it on like that. With this welded on there like that, I'm gonna take part of this and I'm gonna weld it like this. That is gonna be the J-hook, basically like that. Wood projects are nice because the mess is much easier to clean up, and getting wood shavings on you is not nearly as bad as getting metal shavings on you, especially if you get metal splinters and stuff like that. It really sucks. So I will be back tomorrow to prep these and hopefully start painting, but we're one day closer. I want to show some of the welds, see what y'all think about the quality and stuff like that. I'll include a couple of the really bad welds, a couple of the decent welds, and then a couple of the welds that I think are pretty good. All right, I spent most of this morning cleaning the garage. I got as much of the metal shavings and everything like that out of here as I could. I'm gonna clean them with this lacquer thinner, and then once I have everything clean, I'm going to spray paint them all black, but first we gotta clean it all up. So they're all clean. Now all I have to do is paint. My pants are soaked from my arms sweating, but I am hydrated. You know what? Actually, it's time for a popsicle. This is a Squincher Squeeze popsicle, and it's an electrolyte hydration popsicle. I eat like 6 or 8 of these a day at work. I like to crush them up, so it's like a slushie. They're pretty good. All right. That's how that turned out, and obviously these aren't perfectly round, but the underside's not that bad either. All the different angles are so messed up, especially that one. But anyways, done for the day. I'll be back tomorrow to finish putting it together and finish that last piece. Let's get to building. So before I painted everything, I put it together and then I used a punch to mark where each piece goes. So all I have to do is find the marks, line them up, and then bolt everything together. In that way. Just like that, the first one's done. This one. So. Nice. Come on, that's pretty sick. Okay, so then this, and this one slides out. Oh, that is bad. If y'all made it this far, I appreciate y'all watching the video. This thing was a ton of fun to build. This is my first fabrication project. I had a lot of fun. I've learned a ton, and I'm excited to do more things like this in the future. The next few projects I have are probably gonna be mostly carpentry, but there's a few things that I still wanna do for this. I make something to hold the weight plate, and then I'm gonna take that bench that I bought and I'm gonna cut it up. That way I can put brackets on it and make it so that I can fold it up into the wall. There's so many like small things that happen, like me drilling the holes in the wrong place. And those are kind of the things that help me learn the most and will just make the next projects even better. If y'all have anything specific that y'all would like to see in the videos, let me know. If y'all want to support me, the best way is just to like the video and leave a comment and subscribe. I am trying to improve in the way I make the videos and then also the work that I do. So it ended up taking about 30 hours of work to build it. Let me know in the comments if you think this was worth the 20 to 30 hours of work and the $350, or if I should have just spent another $700 and bought one that was built by a company. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.